All right, Coach Diaz is ready joining us after tonight's Cheez-It Bowl, Camping World Stadium. We'll have Coach Diaz followed by Kasey Perry for a few minutes. If you want to ask a question for Coach Diaz, you can raise your hand. Let us know you have a question. We'll call on you, and we'll get started whenever you guys are ready. Our first question will come in from Tom D'Angelo. Tom, you can go ahead whenever you're ready. You can just unmute.
Hey, Manny. Manny, could you, first of all, any kind of update you can provide, obviously, on Eric, how he's doing, and then just talk about the performance of the team and Kasey in particular coming in really a tough situation where you guys were pretty much reeling and not looking very good that first quarter.
Yeah, in terms of Eric, we'll evaluate him tomorrow and know more. That's really all we can say at this point. It's all we know at this point. In terms of the team, I mean, number one, first of all, I want to say congratulations to Mike Gundy and Oklahoma State. That was obviously an outstanding ball game, highly competitive. At no point did I think that we would lose that game, and I don't think our team did either until it hit triple zeros. The way we battled, the way we fought, the way we played for each other was inspiring. However, we just made too many mistakes to win a football game. There were some red zone issues that got us, a 2-point conversion that was, and then it wasn't. In a game when you lose by 3, a touchdown that was and then wasn't. Some of those things that took points off the scoreboard for us, and we ended up not being good enough to overcome. But we continued to fight, and the team rallied behind Kasey. Didn't flinch, and I'm proud for Kasey the way he went in there and played hard. And so many guys that played well, but ultimately, like I said, too many mistakes to beat a good Oklahoma State team.
Up next, we'll have David Furones from the Sun Sentinel. David, you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Hi, Manny. You said you weren't going to be waiting on any news regarding player decisions for next year, that you already knew, obviously, and are just letting the players announce. Do you think now Eric's injury could change some decisions one way or another based on whatever feedback you get tomorrow?
David, I wouldn't be able to comment on the intentions of our players, so I don't have an answer for you on that.
Coach, our next question will come from David Wilson of Miami Herald. David, you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Hey, Manny. Going back to Kasey, just kind of what impressed you most about what he did tonight, and just kind of generally for him. I mean, obviously you guys bring Eric in, you name him the starter before the season, and it feels like there were times when he probably could have transferred or maybe even thought about it. I'm just curious, what were some of maybe your conversations like with him over the last year, and just kind of how happy, I know he obviously didn't get the win, but to have him get a chance like this and perform well?
Well, when Derek came on campus, Kasey could have gone one or two ways. And I'll tell you, I mean, his last 12 months on our campus and who he has been in our program has been his best 12 months. And it's tough, it's tough to be the backup and you're waiting for your shot and you don't ever know. And so the fact that he got it on a stage like this in a bowl game, and what he looked like to me is he looked like a guy that's played a lot of ball. He's been in a lot of big situations, and I think the team had confidence in him that we could move the football with him in there, and that's exactly what happened.
Coach, our next question will come from Barry Trammell. Barry, you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Yeah, Manny. Oklahoma State's first 3 drives, they went pass heavy. Went bang, bang, bang right down the field, 3 easy touchdowns. After that, their passing game and the entire offense came back to earth. What happened early, and what did you guys do to sort of stop that offense?
Well, I mean, there were obviously some adjustments that were being made. As you mentioned, I think we were a little bit caught off guard on how pass heavy they were compared to what their normal MO had been, and but it just didn't look like in the first quarter. It's not that it didn't look like it. I mean, we didn't play defensively, and whether again it was just a lack of confidence from the game previous, which should not be. Shouldn't be an excuse, but for whatever reason, it just took us a while to settle down, and we finally got to stop. And then we just relaxed and started playing. And, you know, we had a huge sudden change stop right before halftime. But it felt like the key point in the game was when we fumbled the punt. You know, and it was a very close game. You know, we lost turnovers, and that was the deal. We had a situation in the third quarter where we had a pick that wasn't. Then we had some other, you know, issues with penalties. And then they got the long drive there. And I think they were able to capture momentum back in the third quarter, which was important.
Coach, our next question will come from Matt Rochelle of the Orlando Sentinel. Matt, you can go ahead and unmute when you're ready.
Manny, I wanted to ask, even though De'Eric was hurt, he still came out and was on the sideline supporting his teammates. What does that say about him as a person to be out there all the time to keep those guys motivated when you guys are trying to rally back?
Well, I mean, that's De'Eric cares so much for his teammates, cares so much for our football team. And that's who he is every day in our facility and in the locker room, you know. He loves these guys he plays with. And I know it hurt him to not be out there with them, but he was going to do anything he could to help encourage the ones that were.
Coach, our next question will come from Ruthie Polinsky of WTVJ. Ruthie, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Hey, talk a little bit. Oops, am I muted?
You're okay, good.
I wanted to talk a little bit more about De'Eric, if you don't mind, just kind of your emotion seeing him go down. Obviously, it's been kind of a exciting and now really kind of heartbreaking week for him. Just kind of the roller coaster of emotions and the ability for you guys to kind of then play a football game afterwards is remarkable.
Yeah, it's harsh. In a year that's had so much adversity. And for a guy that does everything right, you know, and like I said, hopefully we'll get good news tomorrow. But, you know, that is a difficult pill to swallow for, like you mentioned, for the entire football team. So the fact that everybody rallied, not just behind Nicosi, but everybody just rallied together says a lot about the mental toughness of our football team.
Coach, our next question will come from Christopher Heidel. Chris, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Hi, Kasey. Yes, sorry for the tough loss tonight. I like having Perry as a backup, knowing if next year when King gets hurt or anything happens, you have a very good backup.
Yeah, well, like I said, we love our quarterback room, you know, and not just Nicosi, but, you know, Tyler Van Dyke and Peyton Matoka, and then the addition of Jake Garcia, you know, and we felt like that was one of the big things that we had to get right here at UM is get our QB room right, and just not just in terms of on the field performance, but off the field maturity level. And those guys have all done a really nice job. And like I said, I mean, we feel, you know, we feel like where the future is of that position here at Miami.
Coach, our next question will come from Luke Hetrick of Spectrum News 13. Luke, you can go ahead.
Coach, you had said earlier this week that the opportunity to win a bowl game like this could spring forward and give you guys some momentum going into next year. Having the way this one finished, how does it impact how you guys want to take that next step forward?
Well, it shows us, in a nutshell what we have, which is we have guys that will play and give everything for one another. But it still shows some places where we're lacking, you know, really in all three phases. You know, offensively, we obviously had some drop passes, a chance to make some big explosive plays against our defense. Special teams, we had a very costly turnover, had a few penalties, you know, and then defensively, again, just too inconsistent. Looked dominant at times, which was encouraging to see, but then, you know, allowed too many points for us to win a football game. So we don't run from this, you know, and I told the football team, look where we were 12 months ago. You know, so what do you do is you go get to work, you know, you fix what you have to fix, and that sets the tone for the offseason program. And we talk about offseason starting, you know, we basically told our team they've got 24 hours to feel bad about this. And even though you won't be back on campus until the end of January, it's time to get to work, you know, and so I think that's an instant refocus for us. I'm proud of the players for improving our football program from where it was a year ago. I think we're at a different level than we were. We need to get at there's another level that we need to climb to next year. And that will be the focus of our offseason program.
Got time for one or two more for Coach. We'll take the next one from Manny Navarro, The Athletic, and then we'll do one more after that and get you out of here, Coach. Thanks.
Hey, Coach. Curious, you guys obviously gave up the 21 points quickly on defense, but you made adjustments to slow them down. What specifically was working for you guys that was able to get you back in the game on defense?
Well, as was mentioned earlier, they had really come out throwing the football. They really weren't running it all that much, and which we felt was encouraging because we knew they wanted to run the football, and sooner they would get to that. And I thought we did a really nice job with our run defense, especially compared to what our last time out. And we simply started winning the one-on-one matchups down the field, and played our coverage a little better. And I think that's what gave us a chance there. And then, like I said, there was a crucial turnover in the third quarter that put them on the short field. And then we had, again, we had some calls go against us, let's just say, in our secondary, where I thought we were just competing our asses off and out competing them that were called as penalties. We had a crucial interception when we had all the momentum taken away. And that was, I think, probably one of the most frustrating parts, but our guys didn't flinch. They kept playing, but ultimately there was just ended up being too much to overcome.
Coach, we'll take one more from David Furones of the Sun Sentinel, and then we'll bring N'Kosi Perry up here to follow. David, you can go ahead.
Hey, Manny, just wanted to stick with the defense. Your evaluation of the defensive ends in this game that had to play a bigger role with Jalen Phillips and Quincy Roche opting out. And can you detail some of your reasoning on some of the defensive lineup changes, like Brian Balaam starting at safety?
Yeah, Brian's deal was just simply a discipline deal, just where we felt like in December, just he warranted a start just by doing the right things, in our program. And then the defensive ends, look, obviously, not having 2 and 15, that was a big miss. The first touchdown they scored of the game, they got a 4th down and the quarterback's running around and was able to buy time and throw it. And, but that's where we are. I thought they played hard. I thought they fought hard. They saw him make some mistakes, but I thought those guys gave us what they had, and some of those guys flashed, and Jafari made some flash plays and showed why we're really excited about those guys' future. Just what happens now as the future gets a little bit sped up with those guys having to step up their role. So I'm proud of their effort.
Coach, thank you for your time. We'll bring N'Kosi Perry up here momentarily, and thank you again, Coach, and good luck next season.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. All right, we've got N'Kosi Perry here for a few questions, or for a few minutes, rather. If you can raise your hand to ask a question, we'll call on you. Our first will come from Luke Hetrick, or Luke just put his hand down. We'll start with David Furones of the Sun Sentinel. David, you can go ahead.
Hey, Kasey, just to start, what was your thought process when you saw De'Eric went down, and obviously knowing you had to enter into this game?
I was ready right away because I was keeping up with every single play of the game, and right away when it happened, I knew I was about to go in, and I was ready.
Kasey, our next question will come from Luke Hetrick, Spectrum News 13. Luke, you can go ahead.
N'Kosi, you've been here with this program for a couple of years now. It's been a steady growth for you guys. What does a result like this do? How does it impact the next step you guys want to take forward as a team?
I think we took a positive step tonight, even though we didn't come out with the W. The whole game, the team was acting like we had to lead the entire game, and I think we're really building something here, and it's going to be really great for us next season.
Next question will come from Justin Yee. Justin, you can go ahead and unmute when you're ready.
Hi, Justin from Oxby Media here. Perry, you played your tail off when you came into the game. What were some areas of improvement you want to see from the rest of the team going forward? I
feel like we need to improve in all areas, and with my play, I definitely want to improve on my accuracy and things like that. But I feel like we need to improve in all areas of our game, and we're not bad at all. But if we improve, then I feel like we can be unbeatable.
Next question will come from David Wilson. David, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Hey, Nkosi. You obviously, when De'Aaron comes in, there were probably a lot of times there where maybe you could have, thought you wanted to transfer or do something like that. I'm just curious, did those thoughts ever cross your mind over the last 12 months here, and kind of what made you want to stick it out? And obviously you end up getting a good opportunity like you did today.
I'm committed to this school, and right now is not the time to be talking about transferring or anything like that. I'm all about the U, and just want to get back with my team as of right now.
Got time for a couple more for Nkosi. We'll go next with Manny Navarro. Manny, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Hey, Nkosi. Curious, you were able to keep the offense going pretty easily and moving down the field. What did you tell the receivers? Because they were dropping passes, obviously, and you kept going to them. You kept going to Mark Pope. You kept going to D. Wiggins. When guys are going through situations like that, how do you try to keep encouraging them?
Like you said, I kept going to him, and that's what I told him. I told him I'm gonna keep coming back to you. Like I trust all my receivers, and I just try to give them the confidence that they need to go out there and make a play. And we didn't make them all tonight, but I still trust my receivers. If I had to go make a throw right now, I would throw it again.
Got time for two more for Nkosi. We'll do Matt Michelle from the Orlando Sentinel next, and David Wilson after that, and then we'll wrap up. Matt, you can go ahead.
Nkosi, did De'Aaron say anything to you after he came back from the locker room with the injury? What did he say to you to kind of maybe motivate you to go out there and play?
I was already motivated from before the game and the time that I got once I got in the game. But when King came back out, he was just giving me words of encouragement, like keep the guys going, stuff like that. Telling me I'm doing a great job here and there, even if I'm not, just positive energy. And that's what the whole sideline had all night.
One more for Nkosi. We'll do David Wilson. David, you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Hey, Nkosi. Obviously, the last time we really got to see you play a lot, you were playing a very different style of offense. Now you've had a year learning Coach Lashley's system, and it seems to suit you really well. Just what do you kind of like about that, and what do you think about this current offense maybe suits you pretty well?
To be honest, I love this offense. I love Coach Lashley as an offensive coordinator. I feel like he's one of the best to do it, one of the best I've ever been coached by, and that's pretty much it. I love it. I love everything about it.
Nkosi, thank you for your time. We will let you go with that. Again, appreciate it, and we will move on and have Oklahoma State players and coaches in next. Nkosi, thank you, and good luck this offseason.
Thank you. Go Canes.
Any additional Miami availability will be directly through the team. They should have distributed those links if you need them. And we will have ASAP transcripts out at the conclusion of the press conference. We'll have Oklahoma State in just a minute, and we'll get started. Thanks. Just for your planning purposes for Oklahoma State, we're expecting Spencer Sanders as he logs on here right now. Wow, how's that for timing? There's our game MVP, Spencer Sanders. You had a wonderful game. Congratulations. We'll have you here for a few minutes, and if you have a question for Spencer, you can raise your hand and we'll call on you. First question will be from Marshall Levinson. Marshall, you can go ahead. Marshall, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. What was it like to go through this game and put up the 4 touchdowns and the large amount of yards, but also get guys like Dylan Stoner, his touchdown in his final game, and then throw to Tylen in his final game and get Brennan Presley 3 touchdowns?
I mean, it's like I tell everybody, this is played with 22 people. There's 11 people in defense and 11 people on offense. So I feel like everybody deserves it. It's not just one person. And I feel like we did a great job of spreading the ball this game. And Brennan Presley was he was really on his routes. Stoner was really on his routes, and I felt like we just had a good connection, and we were just there this game. So we came out and we showed what we could do.
Spencer, our next question will come from Jacob Unruh. Jacob, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Hey, Spencer, were you guys aware of the plan with Tylen for just one half with him?
I mean, yeah, and that's fine what he did. I mean, he's done plenty. He's done plenty for us, and I really wish I would hear somebody try and down him or call him a quitter, because they got to deal with me. That's unacceptable, and I don't think that's okay. So if anybody wants to call him a quitter, you just don't know football. So I told him that, Bubba, I wish you the best, and nothing but great wishes this way. And he did what he had to do, and that's what he had to do. That shouldn't even be a question.
Spencer, our next question will come from Chris Becker of the O'Colly. Chris, you can go ahead.
Can you hear me, Spencer?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So Spencer, how do you kind of carry this win over into next season, kind of into the offseason, and keep this, just keep this momentum going into the offseason, and start preparing for 2021?
Just keep doing what we do and stick to our coaching and just get better every day. I mean, it's simple stuff. It's fundamentals, and you just work on fundamentals every day, because the little things will take care of the big things, but you got to take care of the little things first.
Spencer, our next question will come from Barry Trammell. Barry, you can unmute and go ahead whenever you're ready.
Yes, Spencer. After they handed you the MVP trophy, you turned and sort of saluted some guys in the group. What exactly were you doing? Who were you talking to? And what was your message there?
I just talked to everybody. Like I said before, this game is really actually played with 22 people. You got 11 people on offense and 11 people on defense, and you got your special teams too. The credit goes to them too. But there is no MVP. I mean, have you watched how our defense played all year? If you haven't watched or seen that, then you would know that's a big reason why we're here. So that MVP doesn't just go to me. The defense stopped them when they needed to stop them. We scored when we needed to score. And all I'm doing is listening to my coach. And like you said, just doing the little things. And I'm glad I could get Brennan Presley the ball. He got his 3 touchdowns. Dylan got his touchdowns, but everybody got touches today, I felt like. So I was actually really excited about that, that we could spread the ball to everybody and kind of spread the love. And so, like I said, they got to catch the ball, get the first down, get the touchdown. They got to know the play, know the route, and all that stuff. So this MVP doesn't just go to me. So it goes to all of them. And that's what I told them. I said, this doesn't just go to me. This is for all of y'all.
Spencer, our next question will come from Ryan Breeden of the O'Colly, followed by Frank Bonner of the Tulsa World. Ryan, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Yeah, Spencer, you talked about spreading the love with Tylen, Dylan, and Brennan and stuff, but next year you're going to be without 2 of those guys, and it's just going to be Brennan of those 3 that you talked about. Can you talk about kind of a little bit of the connection that you feel like you're able to have with him, and some like the confidence that you have in him going forward to maybe step up and be the guy?
We have a bunch of weapons, and I feel like Brennan Presley next year will bring a great addition to add to them. But I feel like we still got great guys that you haven't even seen yet, and great guys that got just a little bit of touches today. And so just adding Brennan Presley into that group, it just makes it that much better.
Spencer, the next question will come from Frank Bonner. Frank, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Hey, Spencer, I was going to ask you something along the lines of that. When you look at this offense, obviously you guys are losing some players, and Dylan, Tylen, Chuba. But when you look at next year, how exciting is it to know that even though you guys are losing those players, you still have great talent in that locker room that's gonna make some noise next year?
Well,
I mean, it's like I said before. I mean, it's just great. And as long as we, like I said, as long as we take care of the little things, we'll take care of the big things. And like I said, we just got to stay fundamental. And then going into next year, we just got to know what we can do, and we just got to do it. And we've got to execute. And a big play in that is execution. So I feel like we executed well tonight. A little iffy in there, but then, that's fine. That's the way football works. Defense wins sometimes, offense wins sometimes. So I feel like we can just click in how we've been clicking. I feel like we're just fine.
Next question will come from Barry Trammell. Barry, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Yeah, Spencer, that was a heck of a first quarter game plan. I think your first 13 plays were pass plays against a team that had sort of been susceptible to the run the last time we saw them. What was it about the game plan that you wanted to do, be so pass heavy? Why was it so successful early, and what happened to sort of slow it down?
We were just detailed, and like I said, I mean, fundamentals, we were just detailed what we did, and we were very precise. We were on timing. Our timing was great. I was connecting with all my receivers. We had great timing. A couple slip-ups here and there, a couple fall, and then a couple just misreads, and that's fine. That's, like I said, that's the way football works. And so I don't know. I'm losing the question. Damn, my bad.
All right, we'll take one more from Nate Feckin of KFOR. Nate, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Hey, Spencer, I know there was lots of ups and downs this year with football. You add COVID into that on top of it. What was it like, going through this season, and how do you feel kind of now that it's over?
It sucks a little bit. It hurts. Football is my season. I love football, and I mean, I wish it would never go away for so long, but it is what it is, and we're going to get back to what we do. And at this point, you gotta just enjoy what you have. I mean, I'm fixing to get to practice my entire offseason and get that much better. So I'm excited to go in and perfect my craft and get better.
Spencer, thank you again for your time. Congratulations on a great game. We'll bring Coach Gundy in here for a few questions now. When he's ready, you can raise your hand to ask a question by using the raise hand function, and we'll call on you. We just ask you to identify yourself and your outlet before you ask a question. Coach Gundy will be with us momentarily. Congratulations, Coach. Sure, it looks good on you. Big win today. We've got a few questions for you from the media. Our first one will come from Jacob Unruh. Jacob, you can go ahead whenever you're ready and unmute.
Hey, Mike. I'm curious, what were the discussions like with Tylen about the game plan for him leading up to this? Because I understand it was kind of pre-organized. He was going to play just a half.
Well, I don't know if it was any particular time. We had just talked with him about at some point we wanted to get some of the other players in the game that were going to be there next year. And we want to protect him. There's always things in the back of your mind that happens. I'm not so sure that what took place with Miami's quarterback didn't have a little bit of effect on us. I'm not saying that we had a plan for an exact point in a game, but our goal is to bring young men in and train them, get them a degree in 3.5 or 4 years, teach them about life, and then try to do anything we can to make their life better. And obviously he's got a future that it's, very, very few people have an opportunity for. So myself and Coach Dunn were very protective of him. And we made the choice at that time to let some of the other players get in and compete. So we just didn't have to hold our breath in that situation. What Tylen has done for us is he's been unique compared to other players. I should say maybe some of the majority of the other players that are as highly regarded as him, in the standpoint that he wanted to compete throughout the season and stay with it. And that means a lot to us. And I think that's going to greatly benefit him when it comes draft day later on this spring.
Coach, our next question will come from Scott Wright of the Oklahoman. Scott, you go ahead when you're ready.
Hey, Mike, what did you see from Brennan Presley tonight?
Well, the same thing that I've seen from him the last 3 years of high school. What he has going for him is, well, Malcolm Rodriguez is sitting here next to me, but they have the same characteristics. They love to play football. They're unselfish. They're tough. They're athletic, and they're not scared. And that's what he is. He's just going to get better and better with experience. He actually had a pretty significant injury in the Baylor game, one that in the past has kept players on the sidelines for as few as 3 weeks and up to 4 weeks. And we actually encouraged him to maybe not play in this game based on his injury. And a week later, he just basically said, I want to play in this game. He started practicing and played. So that's what you get when you have a young man that loves to play the game. He's not scared to compete.
Coach, our next question will come from Frank Bonner, the Tulsa World. Frank, you can unmute and go ahead when you're ready.
Hey, Mike, when you look at Spencer Sanders over the last 2 years, being a starter, there are times where he showed flashes of greatness and other times where he struggled. Today, he did basically everything you would want him to do. How does a game like this be a stepping stone into next year when he's going to be a veteran and just, kind of riding that wave of today's game?
He continues to improve and get better each game. Coach Rattay's done a really good job with him. Coach Dunn puts him in a good position offensively to have success. The one area that he gained big strides in this year was his composure. His composure on the field and off the field on the sideline. If something didn't go well, his composure was really, really good. That allows a quarterback to get better, in my experience in doing this for 31 years. Quarterbacks have to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations. And if they lose their composure, they're not comfortable. That's where he's made his biggest stride. So if he'll continue to stay humble and work hard and train the way that he has in the offseason, then he'll continue to have success at this level.
Coach, our next question will come from Kyle Nash. Kyle, you can unmute and go ahead, and we'll have one from Nate Becken after that.
Hey, Coach, Kyle Nash, three-point conversion. You mentioned trying to get young players to step up. What can you say about Brennan Presley's performance after only having one 2020 catch on the season?
Well, Brennan loves to play football. He's unselfish. He likes to compete, and he's not scared. And we've seen that from him for 3 or 4 years in high school football, and so far it's coming true at this level for us.
Coach, our next one will come from Nate Becken, followed by Barry Trammell. Nate, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Hey, Mike, I had 2 questions for you. One, what was the Cheez-It bath like? And 2, with everything that went on, the ups and downs of this year and then dealing with COVID, what was this season like and what's it like now that it's kind of over?
Well, the Cheez-It bath is much better than the ice cold Gatorade at my age. I can promise you that. And I was really happy for our players. This win might be as a satisfying and gratifying win for me personally, selfishly, as any that I've had in my career. Just seeing the exhilaration and enjoyment on the players' faces after the game. This was a really, really good college football game, and we beat a good football team. Miami's very talented and very athletic. I don't know if anybody had done their research, but the last 4 years, they've had 26 players that are in a draftable position for the NFL. That'll give you some kind of idea of what kind of talent and players that they have. So with everything that's gone on, when you look at what we've accomplished, you can call it like you want, but if we play the non-conference, we're sitting here, pretty good chance we're sitting here with another 10-win season with some pretty dramatic and considerable number of injuries early in the season that our players have rallied back from. And the game tonight was a really good illustration of how our team's been. Early in the game, offensively, we couldn't do anything wrong. And then in the in the second half, the defense went out and got 2 big stops right there in the end. The guys made plays and just found a way to win. So selfishly, for me, it's as good a win as I've had in my career.
Coach will take one more from Barry Trammell, and then we will get Malcolm Rodriguez up here next. Barry, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Yeah, Mike, couple questions. Spencer in general, how'd you feel he played? And your game plan early was fascinating. Your first 15 plays were pass plays. Was that by design? That's not generally what you do or what anybody expected. What was going on there? And why did it work so well and not keep working?
Well, our game plan going in was to try to offset some of the speed and strength that they had up front in their front 6. They're really fast. Their backers run and get over the top of blocking schemes. We knew that we were going to have a few matchup problems trying to rush the football. So our goal was to try to throw the ball 25 times in the first half. Spencer did execute and play very well. The schemes that we came up with in the first half were very well designed, in my opinion. And then when we got ahead by 3 touchdowns, they got in a little bit of a desperation mode where they started pressuring pretty much every play. And that wasn't a really good matchup for us. So once they started to smell blood, they just kept going. And then we had to adjust halfway through the third period in how we wanted to attack them running the ball. And then some things we wanted to do throwing the ball based on them at some point got into a desperation. We're going to blitz every snap, and it worked out well for them. So obviously they were smart. They stayed with it.
Coach, thank you for your time. We'll get Malcolm Rodriguez up here, and congratulations again on the big win.
Okay, and thanks to everybody with the Cheez-It Bowl. Had a great, short experience, but a great one.
All right, we'll have Malcolm Rodriguez up here momentarily for a few questions. Let Malcolm get settled. If you have a question, you can raise your hand. We'll call on you. Malcolm, congratulations on a big win. How do you feel about the team's effort today and leaving Orlando
It
champions?
feels good. You know, we're all happy, excited. I mean, it was a dogfight to the end, and we knew that. So it's we're going to celebrate tonight, and just a good overall team win.
Malcolm, our first media question will come from Jacob Unruh. Jacob, you can go ahead whenever you're ready and unmute.
Hey, Malcolm, how's it going?
Doing good. How are you, Jacob?
Good, good. It was announced before the game, I think on the radio, you said that you were coming back next season. I guess can you kind of break down that decision and what went into that?
I talked to my family, and my biggest thing was coming back and get my degree. And since I switched my major so late, I'm supposed to finish next fall. So that was the big important part. And I feel like I could still work on some key points in my game.
And a different question, you know, that tackle at the end, you had that big tackle and stuff. What, you know, for you to finish that way this season when you're coming back, what does that mean?
I mean, it's just kind of relieving, I guess. I mean, just coming in next year, I mean, we got still kind of a lot to work on. Like I said, there's always something to work on. So just ending like that this year is just kind of a stepping stone for next year.
Thanks, Malcolm.
If you have any questions for Malcolm, you can let us know by raising your hand. We'll call on you and ask you to identify yourself. Scott Wright is up next. Scott, you can unmute whenever you're ready.
Malcolm, what has made the defense be so good on third and today fourth down, especially there late? What do you think's been the key to that?
Just definitely putting pressure on the quarterback, getting our rush out there, and getting to the quarterback's face. So that's definitely props to our D-line guys.
And then what are some of those things that you'd like to improve on next year when you come back?
I mean, just missed tackles. I mean, I missed a couple tackles tonight, so learn on that, and still just kind of just using hands and stuff towards the O-line when I get pulled. So that's one of the things I'm going to work on.
All right, we'll take one more from Malcolm from Frank Bonner. Frank, you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Hey, Malcolm, looking at the guys who this was their last game as a Cowboy, from a teammate's perspective, how big was it to be able to get them out with a win in this Cheez-It Bowl?
It's always a big accomplishment to send them out with a win and, send them out happy. And so a lot of the guys that are leaving are pretty happy. So that's a big part.
All right, Malcolm, we appreciate your time. We'll let you get out of here. Congratulations again on a big win. Next, we'll have Coach Kasey Dunn for a few questions. Coach Dunn, congratulations on a big win. We've got a few questions for you from the media. I want to start by asking myself first, how does it feel to be a Cheez-It Bowl champion?
It feels pretty good. Going to Disney World.
Coach, our first media question will come from Barry Trammell. Barry, you can unmute whenever you're ready.
Yeah, Kasey, tell me more about the game plan. Your first 15 plays were pass plays. They worked great. After that, things settled down quite a bit, but you got off to that great start, and Spencer seemed to play really well.
We just wanted to change it up just a little bit and get out, toss the ball around a little bit. We've had good success with our offensive line and protecting the quarterback as of late. So as a whole, as an offensive staff, we felt more comfortable in throwing the football. We certainly had called more throws, more pure throws. But to be honest, there were some RPOs and twisted into that too. So it was just by chance that they gave us a throw look. And actually, we kind of anticipated it being a throw look a little bit because they were so much, middle field close, cover one man. We kind of thought it would go that direction. And to be honest, 15 in a row, I don't know. We didn't set that bar and say we got to get to 15 throws straight, but we definitely wanted to throw it more.
Coach, our next question will come from Jacob Unruh. Jacob, you can go ahead whenever you're ready and unmute.
Kasey, nice suit there. I don't think I've seen you in a suit.
Thanks. Getting ready to get on the plane.
Do what?
Getting ready to get on the plane.
No, that's fair. Brennan tonight obviously had a breakout game. What have you seen from him leading up to this that maybe kind of gave you the idea that he could do this?
Now, who did you say again? Did you say
Brennan?
Brennan. Brennan's always been really good, from the beginning, from early on. We knew that he was really going to be a good player for us. He stuck behind at the time in the beginning of the year, Dylan Stoner and Landon Wolf. Now injuries have kind of forced Dylan outside a little bit. And then, today Landon got hurt, so he ended up playing some more. But he's a great player. We knew that. And I'm looking forward to working more over the next couple of years with the kid because he's got some things about him that are different.
On a different topic, Tylen only played the first half. How much of that were you involved in the discussion ahead of time?
Oh, 100%. I had told the guys before the game started, over at the hotel, I said, I just want to get some younger guys in the second half. And to be honest with you, Ty was good. He and his mom and everybody on his side of it, they see it too. So I want to protect that kid for sure. And I told him that early on when we were going into the bowl. I said, I'm going to protect you, and I know you've got a future in this game. And so that's 100% on me as far as who played and when. And I told him before the game even started, before we even left the hotel, that I wanted to see Tay in the second half and for Tylen to be prepared to just sit that one out. So, yeah, 100% on me.
Coach, we've got time for a couple more for you. Our next one will be from Barry Trammell, followed by Ryan Breeden. Barry, you can go ahead when you're ready. Barry, you can go ahead and unmute whenever you're ready.
I'll make this bigger. I want to see everybody. Damn it.
All right, we'll move on to Ryan Breeden. Ryan, if you want to unmute, you can ask your question whenever you're ready.
There we go. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. To piggyback a little bit off of what Jacob was asking you, for this first question about Brennan, obviously going forward, next year, you're going to be without Tylen and Dylan. And so you're going to have to rely on some other guys. So I was going to just ask, what's kind of your confidence, or just what kind of role do you see Brennan Presley having for you next year and going forward?
I see it's a huge role. We talked about it after the game. He needs to be a great leader for us. We were fortunate to have in that receiver room 3 captains in this game. Dylan and Tylen and Landon Wolf took the field as captains. So, and that's a great honor for our room, but at the same time, that's a big loss moving into 21. So he needs to step up and step into that role a little bit and start taking some responsibility there. The other thing is you brought up is moving into 21, what are we going to do? Well, that's part of the reason why I wanted to put Tay out there in the second half. The guy's got to get some bullets. The guy hasn't played enough football. And if you didn't notice today, I moved his butt to Z. He's been playing X the whole year. So I slid him over to Z thinking, what can he do for us at that position? Stepping in behind Tylen for the 2021 season. So based on test driving number 4, Tay Martin at that Z position today versus a really good team and good corners to see what he could do. And I'm pleasantly surprised. The kid made some good plays, and I think that's a home for him. So, there's method to the madness. I know everybody's thinking, well, why didn't Tyler play? But you can spit that one on me for sure, because I wanted to see 4 play. And I know it's a long-winded answer to your question, but that's kind of how it unfolded.
Coach, we've got time for one more from Chris Becker, and then we'll bring up Tyler Lacey. Chris, you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Hey, Kasey, I just want to talk to you about what kind of was your message to these seniors, now that they've played their final game and, that they're moving on to that next level?
There was no message after the game. It was before the game. We talked about it, and, I said, hey, this is the end of one of your chapters, and you're ready to start on with a new chapter. But first things first, let's close this one out the right way, do it the right way. And, we talked a little bit about how, a game ago against Baylor, one of my favorite parts of the season was the fact that we had a finished tape afterwards on Sunday night. And we watched that finished tape, and there were a lot of guys playing hard, getting knockdowns and driving guys on big blocks out of bounds, and running backs running hard, and receivers blocking, and O-line, getting pancakes and the whole deal. So that was really the message, was here's a closing to one chapter and the beginning of another one. And we want to honor you today. And I think everybody went out there and did that. So really, really happy with how everybody played, and can't wait to put on the tape.
Coach, thanks again for your time. Congratulations. We'll bring defensive end Tyler Lacey up now for a couple questions before you guys hit the road. Thanks again for your time.
You bet. Go Pokes.
We've got time for a couple questions for Tyler. If you have a question for him, you can raise your hand. We'll call on you. You can ask away. Tyler, we just talked to you a couple days ago about the excitement for this game. How are you feeling now that it's in the books and then your team is leaving Orlando with a win?
I'm very excited. I feel like our team came out there and got the win. Everybody was having fun, flying around to the ball, and the offense was picking it up today, and the defense was, doing their jobs today. So the special teams also had that fumble, so that really came in clutch for today for the win. I feel good. It's a good team win.
Tyler, we got a question coming from Jacob Unruh. Jacob, you can go ahead and unmute whenever you're ready.
Hey, Tyler. What changed for you guys when King gets hurt and Miami goes to different quarterback?
Oh, well, nothing really changed for us. Our game plan was still the same. The backup quarterback that came in, he can still run the ball and still do what King does. Then he has experience in the back there with the guys he has, so we didn't change the game plan.
Awesome.
Got a question from Ryan Breeden. Ryan, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Yeah, Tyler, you guys as a defense as a whole this entire year have been really good, but going into next year, you guys are going to be losing some guys. What do you see? What are your thoughts on the crew that you guys may have next year on the field?
I guess everybody's just going to have to step up and, do better than what they did this year. And I'm really excited for next year and what we have in store.
All right, Tyler, we have no hands up, so we'll let you get on your way. Appreciate your time, and congratulations again on the win. We'll have Brennan Presley up here momentarily.
Thank you so much.
We'll have Brennan up here in a moment, and followed by Coach Jim Knowles. As a reminder, if you have a question, you can raise your hand. We'll call on you, and you can ask you to unmute at that point. Once we have Brennan with us, we'll get rolling. Jim Knowles might be coming up next. We might have a change in order, but we'll get you both guys one way or another. Coach Knowles should be in with us momentarily, and then we'll get Brennan for you in a little bit. Coach Knowles, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on a big win. How are you feeling about your team's performance today, and how's it feel to leave Orlando with a victory?
Well, I mean, anytime you get a bowl win, it's just carries you over to the next season, and it's just I'm really happy for the guys. I mean, they fought hard, and obviously to the last play. That was a really good team we played, really good offense, and they kept us on our heels with a lot of trick plays, and you know, it's just good to see our guys battle to the end.
If you have any questions for Coach Knowles, you can raise your hand by using the raise hand function. Coach, I wanted to ask you about when Miami's starting quarterback went down and N'Kosi Perry came in. You know, how did you feel about the way your team adjusted to him being in the game? And there was a question earlier to this effect, but how does it kind of change the game, if at all, with N'Kosi in there as opposed to Derek?
You know, not as much quarterback run game, but I thought he was a great thrower, you know, and I thought he did a really good job coming in, you know. I was hoping he would be a little cold, but he wasn't. I thought he played excellent. And so it changed us some from the quarterback run game things, but I thought his arm talent was great.
Coach, we've got Scott Wright up next for the question. Scott, you can unmute and ask whenever you're ready.
Hey, Jim. What when you look at the group that you've got coming back next year, what excites you about them?
I heard Malcolm's coming back. That's great. You know, I think we got a great group coming back. You know, we played young guys here down the stretch at the end, particularly in the defensive backfield, and they came up and made plays. So I think we've had a really good returning core of guys who have talent and experience.
Do you feel like you've got some leaders in that group as well, guys that can help you carry over the culture that you've talked about?
Absolutely. You know, I mean, these guys have been with me now going on to their fourth year. They understand, they get it. They've won games on defense, and I definitely think that culture that we're trying to establish on defense will be passed down for sure.
Coach, we got one more hand up for you from Jacob Unruh. Jacob, you can go ahead and unmute whenever you're ready.
Hey, Jim. Kind of curious. Brock Martin seems to be in the right place at the right time lately. What do you think of the way he closed out the season?
Oh man, I thought Brock he's a great kid, great person. Just a stalwart for our team. He just does whatever he's asked to do. Extremely coachable and just a tough kid. And he's like you said, he's always around the ball. I mean, he's just a big play guy who just he figures out the play. You know, he's cerebral and tough, and that's what you want from a defensive player.
Coach, we don't have any more hands up, so we appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us, and congratulations. We'll have Brennan Presley up here momentarily. We'll have time for a couple questions for Brennan, and then we'll get him on his way as well. You can raise your hand using the raise hand function. And as Brennan gets settled, we'll have our first question from Marshall Levinson. Brennan, congratulations on a great game. Marshall, you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Brennan, congrats on a career day, although it's one of your first big days. But just talk to us what it was like to come out with 118 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Gundy said that you suffered a significant injury, but came back. Just talk about that a little bit.
It was just, one of those things you get nipped up in practice. And so, great training staff, took some time off. Actually, my first practice was, I think, Saturday? I practiced Saturday and Sunday. And that was all. And just coming out here, shout out to Landon Wolf. This was his last game as a senior. So, I expected him to get, most of the reps. And then, Coach Dunn told us, some of the younger guys will be in their second half as a way to, bring in, the new year and the new guys to get us some reps. But, if you would have told me I would have had, this type of game and all that, never would have believed it.
Our next question will come from Jacob Unruh. Jacob, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Brennan, how's it going?
It's going good.
Good. Hey, what did you learn this season from guys like Dylan and Tylen and Landon, those older guys?
I learned a lot. I learned how to be a leader. I learned how to, deal with teammates, how to do things the right way. Just being around all those guys, they really became, like my best friends this year, and they helped me with things, on the field and off the field, just teaching me stuff and and it's genuine. It's not like, something that they feel like they have to do. They're all great guys. So they all genuinely want to see not only me, but, the other young guys. They all want to see us do good. So just, their character and things is why, OSU is a great program and why it will continue to be a great program. And I think I can do my due diligence to them by just, carrying on what they did. It's going to be a hard, it's going to be a hard task to try and surpass them and just trying to, bring that energy and the leadership that they did. But, they gave me a great path and just gave me great tools to use for the younger guys coming up.
Brennan, our next question will come from Scott Wright. Scott, you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Brennan, at what point tonight did you sort of start to realize this had a chance to be one of those nights for you?
I think after the second touchdown. No. Actually, after the touchdown where I stepped out, barely stepped out. I thought, that was after that. I was like, okay, this could be one of those nights. But I wasn't really focusing on that. I was more focused on just cherishing the moment and everything that happened, whether I had a good game or not. Because like I said, Dylan and Landon and Tylen, they all they're my best friends now. So it was just cherishing those moments on the bench, cherishing those moments in the game, basically doing everything is just give them a good send off, and not to think too much of myself, but to get the win and thanks for them, and then celebrate after.
Brennan, we've got a question from TJ Eckert of KTUL. TJ, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Brennan, congrats, man. I'm curious. I'm curious. Coach Gundy was talking earlier and said that he wasn't surprised. This is stuff he'd seen in the 3 or 4 years of high school that he watched you. Did it feel a little bit like high school? I mean, did it feel a little bit like that? I mean, the numbers kind of back that case up a little bit.
It felt a little bit like high school. I'm not gonna lie, but also this is you're playing Miami, the number 18 team in the country, and they're always known for having a great team and just coming into the game. They tell us scouting reporters they have great athletes all over the field. So me just going out there and doing that, it gives me great sense of confidence to know that the things that I did in high school I can still do now, and then it gives me confidence to try and improve on that going on to next year.
Got time for a couple more for Brennan. Our next one will be from Ryan Breeden. Ryan, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Yeah, Brennan, you talked a little bit about the opportunity that you, as well as some of the other receivers, were able to get tonight. And so I was just curious, what's your outlook kind of on you as well as your entire position group with all the other receivers for next year and going forward, losing guys like Tylen and Landon and Dylan?
I just think we're hungry, but we're ready. I mean, those leaders, they played this whole year, so we had a whole year under our belt to just learn from them, and even in practice, see what they do, see how they do things the right way, showing up on time, leading in things, being that leader, being that voice. So I think coming into next year, we'll have just a bunch of guys who want to step up, who want to make those same plays, and who they want to not be the guy, but they want to help us win collectively. No one is selfish in the receiver group. We all want to see each other win, each other eat. And so, like, I just think we have a really tight, close-knit receiver group. So, like, it'll help us going into next year just so that everyone can excel and do well.
Brennan, we'll take one more from Jacob Unruh. Jacob, you can go ahead when you're ready, and then we'll get you out of here. Jacob, you're going to unmute and go ahead.
Hey, Brennan, did you kind of break some news about Landon earlier? Is Landon coming back or what? You said he was done.
Did I? I don't know.
Yeah, Landon, I mean.
No, I think he's done. He's a fifth-year senior. I think he's done.
Come back for another year. He was kind of one of those guys we were curious about, so I didn't know if you knew something we didn't.
Oh, no. Yeah, he's done.
I gotcha. All right. Thanks, Brennan.
Thank you.
All right. And with that, we will wrap up. Brennan, congratulations again on a great game and a big win. And, safe travels back to Stillwater.
Thank you. Appreciate all you guys.
All right. And that'll wrap us up for this post-game press conference. We'll get transcripts out as quickly as we can. If you have any questions for us, you know how to find us. And thank you all again for all your patience and cooperation throughout Cheez-It Bowl week. Thanks and good night.
You guys just got some great stuff there. Yeah, let's go. We have some fun. I told